Hello everyone. Welcome to this session from the success story of Germany. My name is Stefan and I'm together with Rüdiger today. I brought a lovely success story from a video conferencing system from Bavaria. And Rüdiger is with me, so Rüdiger.
Yeah, thank you, Stefan. My name is Rüdiger Otto and I work as an account and project manager at Doctoris in Germany. That's in the beautiful state of Bavaria. And today I will talk about VisaVid, that is our video conferencing system from Doctoris, and I will explain what we think VisaVid is a unique video conferencing system.
So a unique video conferencing system. I've seen so many video conferencing systems in the Corona crisis. Yeah. What makes this one now so unique? Can you explain that?
Yeah, actually, you're absolutely right, Stefan. There really is a variety of video conferencing systems, of course. However, VisaVid has some functionalities that are not available in other video conferencing systems. As you know, during the Corona crisis, homeschooling became the new normal. For the Ministry of Education in Bavaria, however, the question arose as to which system was really data protection compliant and at the same time very stable. At the beginning of 2020, we developed VisaVid, a video conferencing system that can satisfy these aspects in particular, and we are very proud that currently about 6,200 schools in Bavaria use VisaVid.
Wow, 6,000 schools, more than 6,000 schools in Bavaria. Great. So you talked about data security and scalability. So in a nutshell, what makes VisaVid now really unique?
Yeah, there are many points. I already mentioned the first point, compliance with GDPR, and above all, the horizontal scalability, but also the possibility of integrating VisaVid into all kinds of applications via an IPA. Furthermore, VisaVid is characterized by accessibility, which means it is particularly suitable for the blind and deaf.
Okay. So 4 outstanding unique selling points. Let's go through them step by step and explain what we really think about the uniqueness of it. So we start with GDPR. What do you understand under GDPR, Rüdiger?
Yeah, data protection is very important, especially in the conferencing area, you know. For us, we see 3 main topics here. First of all is that no software installation on the devices is needed. A first but important prerequisite for GDPR compliance is the reunification of the installation of any software on the end devices of the users. Second is that is a closed application without third-party software. We have complete control over the software. So that means unwanted transmission to third parties can thus be ruled out. And the third is that is certified security. GDPR compliance is not a state, you know, but a process and must be recertified again and again through the further development of the system.
I see. And the VisaVid solution is fulfilling all these requirements in itself. And also, of course, because it's run on OVH Cloud. And OVH Cloud is a GDPR-compliant infrastructure as a service environment that is the foundation for VisaVid.
Yes, that's right. And I think you can explain the certification in more detail. After all, you are the cloud experts.
Absolutely. So in Germany, we do have the BSI certification, which is called C5. And the C5 certification is a number of rules and requirements that you need to fulfill in order to have this certification and call yourself C5 compliant. OVH Cloud just received this C5 compliance certification in September for its Limburg data center. And thus, every customer can now rely on the C5 compliance of all activities and all engines running in the OVH Cloud data center. And on top of that, OVH Cloud created the Open Trusted Cloud environment and partner ecosystem. And we are proud that VisaVid is one of the first partners in this Open Trusted Cloud ecosystem.
Yeah, thank you for the explanation, Stefan. And now let's move on to the next of the 4 mentioned USPs of VisaVid. And that is horizontal scalability, real horizontal scalability. This feature is fulfilled based on VisaVid's cloud architecture. What does it mean? So VisaVid automatically books the necessary system resources from a pool of OVH cloud servers for each video conference and releases them again as soon as they are no longer needed. Some other open source solutions do not offer this scalability and cannot be expanded accordingly. And in addition, by using on-demand capacities, operating costs are only incurred when the systems are used and can also be precisely billed according to expenditure if desired. So overload is not possible, as shown in the green line on the slide.
Okay, great. And this is all running on OVH Cloud infrastructure. So these were the first 2 unique selling points we had in the list of 4. So let's look at the third one. And the third one is open architecture.
Yeah, that means VisaVid offers a full API and is thus easy to integrate into existing platforms and can be controlled remotely. So VisaVid can be integrated anywhere, like a telephone button or a chat button. So the benefit is obvious, I think. So users do not have to leave their familiar environment to plan and conduct a video conference.
That sounds really interesting. So if I'm actually working on, let's say, invoice checking in my ERP system and I have a question to a colleague, I do not need to change the application. I can just hit a button and immediately out of my ERP system or CRM system or whatever system, I just set up the video call. That's really an interesting feature. And let me guess, that's a unique one, isn't it?
Yes, Stefan. At this point, we can rightly claim that really no other competitor can offer this. The other systems can only be used standalone and well only by installing them on the computers. And we already talked about that earlier.
I see. Great. So these were the first 3 unique selling points, and the fourth one is barrier freedom. So can you explain that a bit?
Yeah, sure. Barrier-free means for us that all functions in the front-end and back-end can be used via keyboard, screen reader, and voice control. For people with disabilities and thus higher accessibility and perfect user experience. Also, predestined for use in the health sector.
I really like that feature. So that basically means that all physically challenged people can easily use the whole infrastructure like everyone else without any burden and any barrier. That's really nice.
Yeah, it's absolutely. Again, we can claim to be the only ones in the market who can claim accessibility. We meet the German WCAG standard and fulfill the criteria of level AAA in many places.
I see. So we have seen that VisaVid is used in schools. But are there also other customer segments that you are targeting with your solution?
Yeah, sure, Stefan. You can say all over. It's in the public sector, it's in the health sector, it's in the B2B, in the B2C sector. So it's a video conferencing system for everybody.
Great. Now, we have seen the solution and we have learned a lot about its unique selling points. But what are the plans for the future? You're probably having a lot of plans for extending the feature set.
Yes, that's right. We are focusing mainly on 3 areas of enhancements. The first one is that we can make large events. That means scaling to any number of participants within a room. At the moment, the limit of participants is determined by the performance of the hardware and the bandwidth. However, listening only is already possible with more than 500 participants. So the next point is the multilingual user interfaces. It is the basis for opening up the European market. There are several aspects to this. Offering user guidance in different languages is the simplest exercise at that point. Potentially, an automatic or manual simultaneous translation could be aimed at. An output of the spoken word as subtitles is already integrated and could also be translated. And the last one is VisaVisit. That means a virtual representation of an organization that allows colleagues or guests to enter a conference room with one click, and the visitor is sitting in the home office or in the office at the same time.
Wow. That's a really interesting bunch of new features. And they come on top of the 4 unique selling points that we already mentioned and discussed just a second ago. So great stuff. And I really like that solution. Let's take a conclusion and see what did we learn about the VisaVid solution. So first of all, VisaVid is a perfectly fitted solution for video conferencing in schools, for example.
Yeah, and it is fully GDPR compliant.
And because it's hosted on OVH Cloud, it's fully scalable.
And of course, it's made in Germany.
And we learned it's barrier-free and available for all physically challenged people.
And it has an open architecture via defined API interface.
And that allows a fully integration in third-party software like ERP systems, CRM systems, etc. Thank you for all these details, Rüdiger, and sharing everything with us. It was a very, very interesting success story. And I'm looking forward to see it growing with OVH Cloud. So thanks, Rüdiger, for being with me.
Thank you.